Hey folks, John Cantera, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter here today, and we've got a very special show for you. We're going to be talking a lot about some domestic scammers today, especially, we've all been dealing with the international guys for a long time now, but the domestic guys need just a little bit of attention. More to come. Welcome to the Double Broker Bounty Hunters Stop the Scam. Here are your hosts, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera, and Dispatch Kate, Caitlin Price. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, it is another Monday. Thank you very much for joining us, and we are going to be having some fun today. Let me tell you, if you have been following me on social media on Friday, you already know who we're going to be talking about. But we will get more into that in a moment. We do need to first show a little bit of love to our sponsors. First off, let's go ahead and start with AccuBid Pro. Whether you have been in this industry a long time or you're new in this industry, success depends immensely on how you manage your cost per mile and all of your costs together. And AccuBid Pro does a fantastic job of it. In fact, it's the only app on the market that does precisely that.
Tired of spending hours bidding on loads and second-guessing your profits? Introducing AccuBid Pro, the mobile app designed for the everyday owner-operator. We simplify load bidding, making it fast, accurate, and stress-free. Know your operating costs up front to ensure every load is profitable. Plus, for a limited time, enjoy a 30-day free trial. Stop guessing and start earning. Download AccuBid Pro today, available now in the App Store. Bid better with AccuBid Pro.
Also, shout out to our friends at Freight Validate. I'm the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, host of Stop the Scam, here for Freight Validate. Freight Validate is the only vetting platform that uses objective data to evaluate carriers and brokers. A quick search reveals either a green check mark or a red X, depending on if the searched DOT number meets all federal and state requirements to maintain their authority. And links on the profile will allow you to dig even deeper as you conduct your own due diligence. Go to our website at the top of the screen and click on the Freight Validate logo in our sponsor section to learn more about the features that Freight Validate offers. And if you register for Freight Validate from our webpage, the first 10 days of your subscription will be free. For Freight Validate, I'm the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, and don't let scammers take you for a ride. I got to widen that out and display that better. But, hey, maybe I can get picked up on some commercial contracts, to do voiceovers and stuff for someone. I don't know. I'm trying. How the hell is your Monday going, Kate?
It's okay. It's okay. I had to drive. It hasn't been very busy at all, actually. Two of my two regular just dispatching guys are off this week, so I have some free time there. That's pretty cool.
I know how you feel. Every single one of my trucks is off today. Most of them are getting service today and we back in service tomorrow. But since it's a short week, they're trying to do regional only or local only. So something tells me I'm going to have a little bit of extra time on my hands this week, which sucks financially. But hey, you know what? It's okay. It means I get to put more time and effort into our fraud prevention work. And if you do value our fraud prevention work, we do ask one thing of you, and that is to buy us a coffee. If you go to our website, you can check out the sponsor section on our website. Well, I had a thing right here. There we go. See the yellow cup right there? That's a link. You can donate to us. We do all of our work on fraud prevention, either free or pro bono. It does take a fair amount of our time, and we hate when carriers and brokers are getting kicked when they're down and they need help and they're not able to get it without having to pay thousands of dollars to get professional help. We're here to provide that help, and we do it pro bono or for free. So if you like the work we do, please buy us a coffee. That's buymeacoffee.com/stop the scam podcast. And you can make a donation there. And we thank you very much for that. But today we are really excited because we are going to be talking about one of our favorite topics, our 2024 award winner of the Domestic Scumbag of the Year. Now, we try not to talk about people more than once because usually when we talk about somebody, everyone's gotten the message and they've moved on. Well, we want to remind everybody why this individual is our Scumbag of the Year for 2024 and is already in the running for Scumbag 2025. For you carriers out there, would you really want to run for a guy who says this?
There's two sides to every story. I have reached out to you, Mr. fucking fat bounty hunter, whatever you want me to call you. I don't give a shit about you. Your investigation skills are absolutely dog shit. You don't respond to emails. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Because I am making hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of fucking dollars off stupid drivers. I'm just going to say it. Most drivers are stupid.
You know, if I were an owner operator, I don't think I would ever want to drive a truck for that man. Would you?
No.
I mean, look how young he is.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
I think that is embarrassing.
And he claims to have made, if not millions of dollars, off of stupid drivers. Guys, if you're an owner operator and you go to drive for this guy, it's your own damn fault. I'm just telling you that right now. Okay. And for regulators out there who may be watching this, okay, if you really don't think he's a bad guy, because let's face it, no one is enforcing any rules or regulations about people like him not paying owner operators. Okay. The state's not doing it. Fed's not doing it. Everyone says, oh, it's a civil matter. Okay. Well, if that's not enough, how about this?
What are they going to shut me down? Cool, buddy. I'll just buy another DOT. I got about 3 more lined up. You will not stop me. Like this, I have mastered this industry. You will not stop me.
Regulators, please, if you are watching this, please go after this guy. Okay. We are talking about our 2024 Scumbag of the Year, Sean Mabe, formerly of Mabe Logistics. Bottom line up front, folks, we do want to make sure everyone is aware he has an active authority again as a carrier. He is currently operating under MC 1713185. That's P&P Transport LLC. He has active ads looking for owner operators in Glassdoor and the other job sites that are out there. So this guy is bad news. And if you don't believe us, check out the other 8 authorities that this guy has had and lost over the last 18 months. This is the 8th carrier authority in 18 months that this guy has had. And we will continue to pursue him until the Fed finally takes him into custody for the crimes that he has committed. However, he is expanding his game. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's expanded his game. He has now got a brokerage as well. MC 1725430 J&M Global Logistics. You can see their webpage at jnmgloballogistics.net. He and his business partners are now in the brokerage business. So if I were a shipper or I were a carrier, I would stay the hell away from this particular brokerage because God only knows what kind of scams he's willing to do under this particular brokerage. Okay. That is it for the public service announcement. We have a ton of information. There's a ton of stuff that we've uncovered about Mabe. Kate, I'm going to hand this over to you. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, even though Sean's video from November expressly attacked me in all ways. By the way, if you want to see that particular video, this is the link to that 14-minute video. Those clips that I showed came directly from that. They were not edited. So feel free to go and look at the entire video for context if you don't think we're providing proper context. Okay. So just throwing that out there. But Kate, you first came across this guy back in January of last year when we first started this show, and we've been kind of following him ever since. So why don't, since this is your baby, I want you to get all the credit for this sucker. Tell us about Sean Mabe.
So obviously we originally, I guess, discovered or just heard about him back in, it was February of 2024. February 2024. One guy had reached out to me, and his name was Zachary. He was a very nice, like, younger guy. He was just he was like 22 or something like that. This was just something that he had wanted to get into. So, you know, he did a little bit of research and was really just naive, I think, in my opinion, to what he needed to do and pay attention to in order to get started. He didn't know that there were people like Sean in the world who would just basically take whatever money he had made and not paying. That's not something that comes across people's minds. So
yeah. I do want, I hate to interrupt you, Kate, but I do want to back up one quick second here because I neglected to put something out there for everybody. You know, we're talking about people who are leasing on carriers who are leasing on owner operators and behaving in fraudulent manner with those owner operators. A lot of that, as Kate just pointed out, stems from a naivete, if you will. Forgive me, new owner operators. Yes, you're being naive. You may have learned from YouTube University. And yes, I do get the irony that we are on YouTube, but you don't have to pay to see our content. Okay. Let's cover the rules about leasing on. If you are an owner operator and you are leasing on with a carrier, you need to study 49 CFR 376.12. And I mean every single word of that regulation. You need to know it inside and out because, one, you should have a contract. And if that contract doesn't identify exclusive possession of the equipment to the carrier, then you're already up shit creek without a paddle. Forgive the expression. If you are leasing on, you're taking your equipment and handing it over to the carrier, which means the carrier controls your equipment indefinitely, you know, for the term of the contract. It's exclusive possession. You cannot run under your own authority on one day and then run under that carrier's authority the next. It does not work that way. Okay. Some of the other things that need to be available in a contract: compensation. Now, compensation can take many forms. It could be percentage of gross. It could be rate per mile. It could be whatever. But that needs to be clearly specified in the contract, and any other lease items, such as who's responsible for changing the markings at the start and the end of the lease on the side of the truck. Because remember, you can only have one DOT number on the truck. Whose DOT number is going to be? Receipt for the equipment. I know back when I was a carrier, I actually had the last page of the contract was a receipt. Top half was we put the VIN number on there, date and time, odometer reading of the truck. As soon as it came under my authority, we both signed for it, both the owner of the equipment and myself. And then when the contract came to term and it ended, I signed that equipment right back. New odometer reading, both signatures, et cetera, and that I was able to present to my insurance company to have that truck taken off my policy, et cetera, et cetera. There has to be a receipt to exchange the equipment. Who's responsible for fuel, taxes, IFTA, empty mileage, permits, whole 9 yards. All this must be addressed in a contract. If you are leased on to a carrier and you do not have a contract, you are already wrong. Okay. Some of the other things that need to be identified: payment period. The law says that you have to be paid, the owner operator has to be paid within 15 days of the receipt of documents to the carrier. Now, the carrier may pay you every week, the carrier may pay you every 2 weeks. That's fine. Just make sure the proof of delivery is sent to the carrier in a timely manner. That way, you are getting everything that you're supposed to get. Withholding pay conditions. That needs to be identified in the contract. And there are specific requirements in the law as to when you can and when you cannot withhold pay, such as the carrier cannot place time limits on documents from the lessor. I mean, there's so many different rules and regulations throughout the entire process. Read the law. Chargebacks have to be identified in the contract ahead of time, not after the fact. Okay. Some of the chargebacks would include maybe insurance. Okay. If you're paying for your insurance through the carrier may charge you $300 a week, $200 a week, or whatever for your insurance premiums. That must be clearly spelled out in the contract. What is being leased? Any additional equipment? Copies of the lease. This is another good one. Anytime I've dealt with freight guards involving an owner-operator type situation where they were accused of double brokering, where's the contract?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the freaking contract? There should be 3 copies of the contract at a minimum. Copy number 1 is with the carrier. Copy number 2 is with the owner-operators in their office. Copy number 3 is in the owner-operator's truck. It must be with the equipment. Absolute positively. This is required by law. If you get pulled over doing a DOT inspection and you're leased on to somebody, that cop should be asking you for a copy of the lease contract. If he's not, then your markings are not correct on your truck. You have problems. If you have an escrow account, boy, there's tons of rules on that, but I'm not going to go into that one because that is really some deep ass stuff. Like, by the way, an escrow account, and Kate, I hope you don't have escrow accounts with your carriers because those escrow accounts are interest bearing accounts and you have to account for that on a quarterly basis. It's a mess. It's a mess. Insurance. As the rules for insurance are covered under 49 U.S. Code 13906, that's your vehicle liability, that's your cargo. The carrier must carry those coverages. They can force the owner operator to pay for them, pay for premiums in their weekly settlements, but the carrier must carry those coverages on their policy. So carriers, you need to be able to provide your owner operators with a COI that shows their VIN number and their name to show that they're authorized under your policy. Any other extra coverages such as bobtail, I think they call that something different now. That you can specify that the owner operator cover that themselves. That's okay, but make sure you double check 49 U.S. Code 13906 in terms of who is responsible for what types of coverages. Some of the other things, vetting a carrier before you sign the contract. Again, it's a contract, guys. Read the freaking contract, start to finish. Look for any hidden fees, look for any hidden obligations, because they will hide them in there. Do a deep dive into the carrier's history. Make sure you know everything about the carrier's authority. Was it ever revoked at any point? Was it reinstated? What kind of issues do they have? How many times have they changed insurance? What's their safety record? You want to know all of these things. You want to know what kind of reputation the carrier has. Do they have freight guards against them that you don't know about? Ask for references. If you are a carrier, or sorry, an owner operator going to work for a carrier, I would want to know the names of 3 drivers who are currently driving for that carrier, and I would want to know 3 names of drivers who no longer drive for that carrier, because a carrier is required to maintain driver records for up to a year after the driver has been dismissed. So they should be able to make contact with that driver to be able to get you that reference. I mean,
Yes.
this may sound like common sense stuff, folks, but if it was really common sense, we wouldn't have to cover this. Okay. So make sure you see the insurance requirements in the contracts, any fees, the startup fees, ELDs, fuel cards, all that good shit. Everything should be spelled out in a contract. A contract is not going to be a one-page thing. It's going to be like a 20-page document. Carriers got to do due diligence on you too. They need to do an MVR. So if they didn't ask you to provide your driving record or your driver's license or your TWIC or your med card, then they're already doing something illegal themselves because they have to have copies of all that stuff on file. FMCSA is supposed to be able to walk in their office, pull your driver qualification file, and get all of this information right from the rip. So if you have not provided this to your carriers, Mr. and Mrs. Owner Operator, we are already in a problem. Oh,
Yeah. And admittedly, that stuff is a pain in the ass, but it has to be done.
and Kate knows this from experience. I did too back when I was a carrier. With Kate being a carrier now, she's seen the more recent rules and regulations in play. My knowledge is 7-8 years old, which is fine, but it's still there, guys. Don't do a goddamn thing without a fucking contract. I don't know how many times I can say, I don't care if you're an owner operator and the carrier you're leasing onto is your brother or your mother. Get a fucking contract. It's required by law, and you need it to protect yourself. Okay, that is enough of the legalese rant. Kate, forgive me. I did not mean to interrupt, but I felt remiss if I didn't include that.
That's okay. Got to give some context to people. So,
and let me know when
guy.
you want me to bring up our guest.
Yes, we'll bring him up as soon as we kind of get through the basics.
Okay.
So, Zachary was the first person who ever reached out to me. And I remember right after I talked to him, I had talked to you, and you had told me that you had somebody reach out to you about a similar situation. And I was like, me too. Let's talk about it. Come to find out, they were talking about the same carrier, which was very weird because up to this point, you and I had never encountered them. So the fact that we both encountered them at the same time by two different people was pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of goes to show that this isn't just like a one-off incident. This is a bunch of people. And since that day, we have at least 50 people, and those are just the people that we have personally talked to. So there's countless other people that don't know we exist or don't know that those other 50 people exist, and it's a mess. So essentially what this guy does is he will, and this is just from my professional opinion, he seems to purchase authorities, and every once in a while will actually start up his own, have it incorporate it himself or whatever, and apply for the authority. And then he will lease people on, and those people come on and work with him. And they never get paid. And for anybody who is not aware of the financial implications that come along with being an owner operator, whether you work for yourself under your own authority or you work with somebody else, it's a lot. You spend a lot of money to get your equipment. So on top of getting your truck and trailer, you also have to get everything that you need to do the job. So the people that he preys on most are like hotshot guys. That seems to be his big shtick, is hotshot guys. They need tarps, straps, chains, binders, edge protectors, sometimes blankets, sometimes they have a winch, sometimes, there's so much, and that stuff costs so much money. On top of that, they also have their insurance, If they carry, if the company that they're driving for doesn't carry personal insurance. So for me personally, I only insure my drivers on the business end. I say, if you want to be insured on, in your vehicle during your personal time, you need to come up with that yourself. I am only insuring you for business purposes. So they have that cost. They've got their truck note, trailer note. Sometimes those truck notes are $1,000 a month. And on top of all of that, they've also got their own regular expenses, their home, their families, their children. And it's not a situation where, unless you have really tens of thousands of dollars kind of stashed back for something like this to go wrong, you don't have that buffer. So you come along and you work with someone and you expect for everything to work out, and they just, don't pay you. Oh, sorry, not paying you. That's a huge, huge financial dent to that person. And a lot of times they can't recover from it. So many people that have worked with this guy have had to turn around and sell their equipment and go get a regular job. I've seen where people have had to give up their homes, move their families, because they literally never made a penny. And we're talking about thousands of dollars. It's not like they're owed a couple hundred or something. So let's move on to his video. So I know some people that are watching this may not have seen the video. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it, come back and check this out. So in Mr. Mabe's video that he thought was smart to post on YouTube and potentially implicate himself, he mentioned that for the first 2 years or something, he didn't even have a contract. Okay, first, you're an idiot. That's illegal. You're an idiot. That's stupid. So first, first flag. Didn't have a contract for the first 2 years. That's kind of ridiculous. Later he says
he claimed he was getting screwed over by his owner operators, right? He claimed that they were using his credit card to buy lottery tickets.
He said they were using his fuel card to buy lottery tickets and drinks and food, and deadhead from Washington or from like Seattle to Miami or something like that. All of these things that he says in here, so for argument's sake, let's say that all those things are true. You've had how many years to fix that? And you're just going to keep doing it? You just keep doing it. Oh, I'm just going to keep fucking myself on purpose. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. So,
as I recall, when I was a carrier and I had my fuel card was specifically designated for fuel and death only. Mm-hmm. No one could buy anything else. And before I got a fuel card, I did have credit cards issued to my 2 other drivers. But even then, I could get with my credit card company. I could say, the purposes for these cards are only this and this, only for fuel. You can't buy groceries. And the credit card company would lock it out. Why in God's name he would get burned more than once? Dude, it's your own goddamn fault. Pardon my French.
Yes, it is. It is his own fault. So I'm not buying that at all. Not buying it. Whatever. I'm sure maybe in some situations, a big thing that he liked to say in his video was he pays for their repairs, he buys their equipment, he pays for this, that, and the third, and whatever. And then they're like, oh, I didn't get a paycheck. Why didn't I get a paycheck? Well, because you have to pay me back. Okay. I'm not buying that either. Bullshit. Because I've had way too many people come to me, and I've specifically asked those questions. I've asked, did you use a fuel card? Did they pay for any kind of repairs? Did they do this or that or whatever? Did you borrow any money in any form, any financial borrowing, exchanging of funds? Did that happen? And I've never once been told that they did. I have been told there have been people that have used their fuel card, but I've never spoken to anyone who's had them pay for repairs and whatever other ridiculous shit that he claims. So later on, he says, I wait. Oh, another big point. Another big point that he likes to throw this out there, that in any job in the United States of America, you put a week in the hole. Okay. These are not W-2 employees, for one. You are not paying them as a W-2 employee. They're not putting a week in the hole. B, you use a factoring company. You get paid the same day. If you do, please, the same day or the next day at the latest. You get paid very quickly. In transportation, as an owner-operator, exchanging funds with a lease company, you do not put a week in the hole. That's not a thing, and that's some bullshit made-up fucking thing that he uses so that he can hold their money for an extra week, in my opinion, allegedly. Right, in my opinion. I think it's all fucking ridiculous. And quite frankly, I find it almost humorous that he posted that video expressing all of these things, only to later turn around maybe a week later and delete it. Because it sounds fucking ridiculous. The entire thing sounds fucking ridiculous.
To be fair, that video was up for a full month. That video was up for a full month. Okay.
I didn't even think it was that long.
But when you make stupid freaking statements like this.
There's two sides to every story. I have reached out to you, Mr. fucking Fat Bounty Hunter, whatever you want me to call you. I don't give a shit about you. Your investigation skills are absolutely dog shit. You don't respond to emails. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Because I am making hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of fucking dollars off stupid drivers. I'm just going to say it. Most drivers are stupid.
Oh, I love you. I remember when I first saw that. It's like 4 minutes into the video. I remember when I first saw that, I kept thinking to myself, please keep talking, you moron. Please keep talking. I'm waiting for you to incriminate yourself on something that you can be charged with at the federal level that DOT it will chomp at the bit to get to. And then you gave it to us. You actually gave it to us.
What are they going to shut me down? Cool, buddy. I'll just buy another DOT. I got about 3 more lined up. You will not stop me. Like this, I have mastered this industry. You will not stop me.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that you've mastered, Sean, is a life of crime. Let's see.
And pissing people off.
Let's see. What was it? It was 2019. He was arrested and charged for stealing $30,000 to $120,000. And the implication of a child, I thought I read in the record. So I'm guessing he used a kid to steal grandma's checks and wrote himself a check for greater than $30,000. There are no court documents on that case, so I'm assuming the family had him arrested to scare him straight, and clearly that did not work. He's also got all sorts of other things that he's done, youthful indiscretions. This guy, oh, what a piece of work. Oh my God, what a piece of work. I'm sorry.
Well, I say to anybody who's watching this, if you don't believe us, you don't have to take our word for it. And you can just listen to the story of somebody that wants you to know about this guy.
So we've brought up Tex. Tex is a former driver and a victim of Mabes. And what carrier company of Mabes were you running for, Tex?
The PNP Transport.
PNP Transport. This is the latest active authority that Sean Mabe has as a carrier. So Tex, your mic's a little low, so you need to speak a little bit louder. Tell us your story, please.
Yeah, sure. So, as you know, as Kate was talking about, usually it takes, takes advantage of people new to the business. I was working already as a hotshot, just started off through a friend that had worked at Acme, and I got on there, and it was oil field related strictly. So I really was at 2 months of just going to safety meetings and getting a run here and there. They just were not. I just got the trailer finally, and I originally started from I didn't have my trailer yet. They were letting me do little runs just in the truck. Got my trailer, and basically I wasn't getting work. So it was 2 months after spending all the money on my equipment, and so I was kind of in a desperate situation to make some money. I was in a hole. So that's probably and I know he feeds on the fact of people like on his Indeed post that basically um, that like to use let's start today, and I was in that mode. I know that's the route they like. They like somebody that wants to start tomorrow. And looking back now, it's like that's not something in this business. It's not something you just go you do. But it was. I talked to him personally on the phone. My wife was even on speaker, and he did the good old boy talking bullshit, and
Now, it was specifically Sean Mabe you were speaking with, correct?
Yeah.
He did identify himself as Sean Mabe?
No. The whole time I worked there, it was Sean McCoy.
Sean McCoy.
Yeah. And I would believe Liz was even using McCoy like the husband-wife thing. I believe she was using that too.
That's one of his aliases. We've seen Sean Douglas, Douglas Mabe, Douglas McCoy. We've seen a whole series of them. Please continue. Forgive me.
Something about while we're on that, Brazos, like a nickname he used. I know he had a company, Brazos, but then somebody called him that on some Facebook post.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I hope you can see these things I'm going to throw up on the screen right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the list of companies that we have positively identified Sean Mabe as having a connection to. And right in the middle there is Brazos Star. So very interesting you brought that up, especially since you didn't know the previous list, Tex. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll throw this list up again at the end. Go ahead. Please continue.
Nope, can't hear you.
Well, we've lost your audio, and you're not on mute. All right, try talking again, Tex. No, we still can't hear you.
Try dropping out and coming back in.
Okay, so while he works his way through that, oops, that's where the heck is the standard default? There it is.
There he is.
Waiting for him to come back in. We'll go ahead and throw back up that list for everybody just so they can see that. Can you hear us, Tex? No, I still can't hear you, buddy. I still can't hear you. You're not showing muted or anything, so it's on your end. Maybe your Bluetooth picked it up?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, you got to love doing live shows, folks. Here is the list of the companies that Mabe has been part of. We were intimately aware of Mabe Logistics and Mabe Transport. Mabe Group Logistics was also a brokerage. Raptor Transport was when he first started trying to disguise the work that he was doing by purchasing chameleon companies. We have him tied by a variety of methods. We don't want to disclose those because we want to keep following them. Backwater Logistics, we found him transitioning into Backwater. We have victims who can us that they went from Raptor to Backwater and then from Backwater to Brazos. Started hearing something. Tex, can you hear us? No, we still can't hear you yet. I see your mouth move, but I don't hear anything. Then Funky Truckin'. That's kind of a unique situation. What was the deal with Funky Truckin'?
Okay, let me just exaggerate, I guess, on that a little bit, or elaborate, not exaggerate. Sorry.
About to say, really?
So, so I had actually heard that someone who worked for, I don't remember which one they were originally with, but they were told midway through a load to remove the stickers of the company that they had originally leased on with, which was one of these in this list, and replace it with the credentials for Funky Truckin'. Midway through a load, they were told to replace their identification on the side of the truck with that of Funky Truckin'.
Yeah, if
So
that doesn't sound
kind of where she
shady,
comes in.
I don't know where it is. Now, Vivian, who I believe was the owner of Funky Truckin'.
Valerie.
Was it Valerie? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. Valerie, after a couple of months, actually reached out to me and claimed that she herself was a victim of MABE. Yet we think that may not have been entirely accurate. We think that she is involved either as a dispatcher or something along those lines and was trying to, frankly, throw us off the trail because it was around this time that Sean sent the video about us.
But what's interesting about that is she did know. She did know, and she can claim that she didn't, but she knew because she had commented on one of our first shows that we did of him where we discussed him. She had commented on it and was actively defending him. And she even went as far as to send me an email defending him. And then subsequently others started sending me emails defending him and trying to, I don't know, get angry with me, I guess. But
how many
yeah,
emails did you get defending Sean MABE?
I think 4.
Okay.
So
now, how many victims have we recorded since February of last year? My count right now is 73. I could be off on that number.
okay. I mean, I don't know. So I have a list, but if I'm being honest, I don't keep up with it. I kind of went after we on my end, like in my personal business, after we switched, we kind of went over to a new database, the same database, but a different, I don't know how to say it, whatever. Anyways, I stopped keeping up with that. After I didn't have to open that base every day, I just stopped like keeping up with it. So there's probably like 30 some odd people in there.
I keep a running tally.
I keep
a running tally of all the people who have contacted me on Reddit. Reddit seems to be the largest source of new victims who reach out to me specifically, emails and all that. I am in the process of consolidating all that into a single list again for FMCSA because we've presented what this guy has done to FMCSA and DOT. We have. And
Yes.
they have told us that they are starting an investigation. But that was also back in November. And after the election, as the administration changed, everyone started going crazy about Doge and the chaos they were about to cause in the government. And they hacked and slashed the hell out of FMCSA and DOT. In fact, the entire new registration fraud team that FMCSA back in November was fired in January, the entire team, and they're trying to bring them all back. So all the investigations that were going on at that time have gotten put onto the back burner or were completely lost because the people who were doing those investigations were slashed by Doge. Okay, so that's your government at work for you, ladies and gentlemen. So we are trying to file a new package for DOT so they can reinitiate their investigation of Sean MABE and his associates. And he's got at least a half dozen associates that we've identified at this point. And yeah, we're after them all. We are definitely going after them all.
So I
Okay.
do
Where
actually
did we leave
have
off?
in front of me, I do have the emails that I was sent. So I was sent an email by Lily. This was April 30th of 2024. So a year and 2 months ago. Lily Newman sent me an email. Jordan Amlong sent me an email. Valerie Funk and Sean. And then Kylan Jackson is also like uh, copied on these, I guess, but I don't know. So those are the people
Now,
that sent me the email.
for
Cowboy
the
lover. Can y'all hear me?
transport, they're active trucking authority. But that's just out there. Forget the fact that the email address associated with it on Safer is Sean at PNB.
Yeah.
You gotta
Jason,
love
are you
that
back?
crap.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Tex, please continue your story.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, just getting back to the P&P, where I left that.
If you could bring the mic closer to you so we can hear you better.
That would be my phone to my face. So I'm going. How about this? Is this all right?
That's better. Yeah. I mean, if you have to get rid of the picture and just talk, that's fine too.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, basically, yeah. So my situation was, after talking to him, but I still did a little checking in on things. I was like the insurance, and oddly enough, the insurance, they had my name, Progressive, the number I'd call for them, and they said they had me on there. That made me feel a little better. But basically, I knew everything on, you know, the whole thing was done in a little, I like Squarespace for his contract or whatever. And really, I don't even think it's just some bullshit. I've already talked to an attorney about that. That it won't hold up. But it's digital, like a DocuSign type of thing, but it's not actual DocuSign. Anyway, I go up there and actually meet the guy because I told him I wasn't doing anything, and I wanted to meet him. So that, you know, he actually met me, not in office, of course. He stood me up for the first night. I was up in Fort Worth, and then he came out and met me at a hotel I was at, and he had some stickers and stuff, and bull BS and stuff, and told we even talked about he even, it's so funny because he even talks about foreigners and all these fraudsters out there. And I'm like, you're the number one. It's just crazy.
So,
Yeah.
how would you describe his appearance?
Well, now look at it. Kind of a douchebag. It's like what you see in the video looking.
So, is this the guy that you spoke to?
He didn't look like that. It wasn't a photo shoot. He didn't quite look like that, but that's him.
But that is the same
Okay.
person.
Same person. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important for us to point that out to everybody because I know if Sean's watching this or any of his associates are watching this, I imagine they're
Which they
running to
will.
their. I imagine they're running to their attorneys, ready to try to sue us. Oh, by the way, Sean, please try to sue me for defamation or slander. Please do that. Because as you go to force me to go into a courtroom, I'm bringing Tex with me. I'm bringing Kate with me, and I'm bringing the other 70 victims with me. So please force me into a courtroom. Thank you. You were saying, Tex.
Yeah. That's just crazy. So met him in person, and but I still had this kind of like unsure vibe about him. But like I said, desperate times. I was ready to make money, and I get initially, like I never got. I heard people like he says in his video, he gave people fuel card. He would just Venmo me money here and there to get me to point A and point B, so he can basically get his work done for him and then not pay me. So like the usual, long story short, I ran 2 weeks. Usually about a second. He always says it's a week behind pay, so you don't get paid the first. So that way, the second week he can ditch you. Basically, I got ditched in upstate New York, when he lost contact and started and ghosted me. And yeah, just doing all research on it, and I come across the first thing. Instantly, I see the mug shot, and I'm talking to Lily, and Lily probably that Lily person. I've talked to her on the phone, and you know, I found Lily Newman. I found out, you know, I went on Truth Finder and I paid the damn monthly fee, and I got all his associates from Lily Newman to his Kylan Jackson, his associates, Clayton Cochran, many more just names that I know for, you know, that are crooked and done deals with him. We're on Facebook promoting his some of his older posts, trying to get, you know, recruiting and all that stuff. But yeah, I know Sean. And by the way, important thing I just left out just a few minutes ago. I sent out a little text. How you doing today? You know, and he just put send him a link. So he's that same thing I showed you, Kate, the text messages. So it's definitely him, and he's watching. So Sean, I just wanted to let you know, man, I don't care about the money. I don't even care. That's great. I'm sure we'll get your stuff seized up, but you mess with the wrong person. I will just do whatever, everything. I have connections. I have a chief of police family member, Fort Worth Sheriff Department. Just I will go to the ends of the earth. And I've talked to people, and there's people that a certain person that just really, you've destroyed their whole family, his family life and everything. And he is desperate, like bad. And I have to talk him down. I don't know him personally, but yeah, he's looking for you. That's all I can tell you. And like you said in your video, you're not hard to find. We know that. So
one other thing I do want to say, I just want to point this out before I forget. I want to show some appreciation to Sage and Axel Live and Sage Outcast for their shows that they did about this topic. It was very, very good to have any extra coverage, you know, being put out on this. So I just want to say thank you to them for doing that.
Yeah, I've got to say, I know both of those guys, and I did not ask them to do this stuff. They found the video, they've seen, and they started asking me questions. Sage did it around the same time that Sean put out his video last year. Axel, he's been out of commission for the last 6 months. He's been waiting to do something on this. And now that he's got his studio back up, he was asking for information the other day from me. And I didn't realize he was going to post something that fast, but he did. So I want to share with Kate my appreciation as well to both those gentlemen for helping to get this information out there to the general population. So Sean, it's not just me you need to sue. Okay, you need to go after Sage Outcast and Axel Live on top of it. So have fun. You're going to have a fun time with it. I also asked of any carrier, broker, etc., who are out there watching this, if you frequent Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., and you see a job posting from PNP Logistics or J&M is his current brokerage, J&M Global, please take a snippet of today's show from the shorts of his own words and add that as a comment, because we need people to see what kind of scumbag this guy is and really decide for themselves whether or not they really want to work for this guy, because this is just intolerable. Absolutely intolerable that this exists in the industry. And he's not the only one, ladies and gentlemen. We are so keen on him because we have been following him for the last 18 months. Okay, so let's be very clear.
And it just resurfaces. It's not like this is the same company over and over and over again. If it was, this would have died a long time ago. But it's the same people getting new companies every time something goes wrong or they get shut down or they get caught on to, and brokers are like, I'm not going to work with you anymore, and I'm going to report you to all these different agencies or whatever. Anytime something like that happens, they just go off and get another authority. That's why this just keeps coming around and coming around and coming around and coming around. he's not like all these other people out there that just have their one authority and they just screw people over, and it's not that simple.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
can I read? Let me just go ahead and read that text that he sent yesterday. It's I think he thought maybe that I was you, John, or worked with you, but he's here. So this is him. Haha, you think you know it all, huh? With he says, take your gas comments and broadcast somewhere else. Just let you know no one pays attention to your dumbass podcast. Bunch of little boys begging for attention, and you haven't got there with it. Continue hating on winners in life that aren't doing anything wrong. Enjoy your shitty life on the bottom, fucking peasant. And anyway, I wanted to share this number for anybody that it's posted on their Glassdoor. I don't think it can use Indeed anymore. I can't find an Indeed post. I think they might have been flagged there, but it was Indeed there 3 days ago. As recent as that, they had a job posting, and that number is 817-210-6221. And like they say on the post, feel free to call or text anytime. So anybody that wants to call, or maybe somebody wants to pretend that they want to work for him and waste his time or anything or something like that, feel free. Just want to share that phone number. And
that makes me laugh. That just makes me laugh.
The baller stuff that he puts on his social media, like TikTok and all. They're in the clubs in Fort Worth stockyards, dressing up like cowboys, in a mirror with Kylan, him and his buddy Kylan, putting on their little cowboy hats and going out and then whatever little Vegas trip. They're just living it up, and they're bunch of dumbass drivers. That's your money.
And I want to get into how much are you owed, and with that, did you use their fuel card? How much fuel did you spend? Like, did he pay for any of your equipment? No. Any of these allegations that he's making, are they true?
No, for me, it was no fuel card. Which he sent Venmo a few times of $500 just to get me for fuel. He would Venmo me money, and for the loads and everything, which they were probably not. We're still working on the Raycon things, but getting those, and I've gotten some, but we're getting those, and then. But I'm sure whatever it was, it's probably more than what he was showing, telling me through text messages. But so I would say the $1,500 roughly he sent, and he owed me probably between my other fuel, the rest of my expenses and loads, right around $6,000-7,000 for me in weeks easily.
Isn't it convenient that the contract termination fee is $6,000 for the early termination? Did he ever present you a contract, Tex?
No, that's what I'm saying is if there's anything ever there was nothing ever. So I started asking about that, and then it never came up. The only thing I know is a Squarespace. When they first signed on, supposedly it was a background check, and in a Squarespace app that had their little temporary little web page thing, and there was some type of thing that I signed that and that might have been it. That might be some a little predatory little type of thing that he had made.
We've looked at the link for that website. That is an application for employment. Now, he may try to say that was also a contract, but of course there were no terms or conditions listed anywhere on that site. Yeah. So good freaking luck.
Yeah. Feeling pretty good about it. Even being my naive stuff that I did, on my end.
Well, I hate to say that you are in a large company, but you are. There are many victims of Sean Mabe out there. And Sean seems to think that we try to get rich off of his name, that we're trying to generate insane number of views. Folks, if you look at my YouTube, I think I've got maybe 200 some odd subscribers. When you focus solely on transportation fraud, that is not exactly a large market. So I'm not monetizing off of it, Sean, much to your dismay. We don't make any serious money off of this. I think after taxes and fees and stuff from after all of our sponsorships, and our subscriptions, Kate, you and I make what, $140 a month doing this show. We are not doing this for the money. We are doing this for the good of the industry. And Sean, you keep doing what you do. You keep heckling the way that you are. But we've got a lot of people who know who you are now. We've got a lot of people who are watching you. And we will get the right people in the federal government watching you who will, in fact, shut you down. Now, you want to go ahead and you want to buy new DOT numbers, you go ahead and you waste your money. And we're going to use Safer Lock to make sure that as you buy things, we get them shut down too. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to be working with you. You want to keep playing with us? We'll keep playing right on back. By the way, for the record, and this is a tentative schedule, the new director of the FMCSA, Derek Bars, is being interviewed by yours truly on December 11th in Jacksonville. So, Sean, you have till December 11th, and I will hand over my entire investigative file to Derek Bars at that meeting. So if you think you're not being watched now, you will. That is a promise. Enjoy. Okay. Enough of my firing back at Sean. We did not want to do this show as a full-on type of revenge type thing, but it is very important that we want to make sure that everyone out there in our audience, or anyone who finds this video because they're doing proper due diligence on Mr. Mabe, understand exactly what it is that they are getting into.
What are they going to shut me down? Cool, buddy. I'll just buy another DOT. I got about 3 more lined up. You will not stop me. Like this, I have mastered this industry. You will not stop me.
You will not stop me.
Beautiful.
Federal agencies, he is taunting you. He is taunting you. You are going to let this little 27-year-old punk get away with this? Are you serious? Throwing that out there, I want to go ahead and repost what his current MC is. The current carrier MC that they're operating under is PNP Transport 1713185. He also has a new brokerage. We are actively investigating his brokerage and his business partners, Kason Jones, and who was the other guy? Jordan
Burden. That's right.
Yeah, Jordan Burden. We are looking into both of them as well. That brokerage is 172-5430 J&M Global Logistics. Once we have good information on that, we'll make sure that that gets distributed accordingly. But we ask every broker and every carrier out there, you see a posting for either one of these two agencies out there anywhere in social media, please play one of the clips that we have shown in the comments. So that we can make sure that everyone sees exactly what this guy is all about. And he's not about the industry. He is about himself. And because let's face it, he's making money off of stupid drivers.
There's 2 sides to every story. I have reached out to you, Mr. fucking Fat Bounty Hunter, whatever you want me to call you. I don't give a shit about you. Your investigation skills are absolutely dog shit. You don't respond to emails, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck because I am making hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of fucking dollars off stupid drivers. I'm just going to say it. Most drivers are stupid.
It just gets better.
What was that?
It just gets better every time you play it.
Oh, isn't it? It motivates me. It allows me to get out of bed every day. Because let's face it, this industry can be rough. This industry can be a cesspool. There's a ton of fraud out there. What is amazing is this is not somebody who's out of Eastern Europe. This is not somebody who's out of India. This is not somebody who's part of a Mexican cartel. This is a one-man band who is who has developed his own organized crime ring. To quote our friend Axel Live in the video that he did last week. So guys, we're not the only ones watching. We're not the only ones looking, so make sure you place your blame accordingly. Now, as much evil as exists through folks like Sean Mabe, there are shining lights out there. One of them being AccuBid Pro. If you are new to this industry or you've been in here for a while, managing your costs is key to the game. That's assuming you're running with an honest carrier and not Sean Mabe.
Tired of spending hours bidding on loads and second-guessing your profits? Introducing AccuBid Pro, the mobile app designed for the everyday owner-operator. We simplify load bidding, making it fast, accurate, and stress-free. Know your operating costs up front to ensure every load is profitable. Plus, for a limited time, enjoy a 30-day free trial. Stop guessing and start earning. Download AccuBid Pro today, available now in the App Store. Bid better with AccuBid Pro.
Also, if you have any issues when it comes to protecting yourself from fraud in the industry, we highly recommend our other sponsor, Freight Validate. I don't care if you're a carrier or a broker, Freight Validate is the first step in trying to vet carriers and brokers to determine whether or not they're worth doing business. And again, it is part of a layered defense. I would not use one system by itself, but Freight Validate is a damn great place to start. And for small carriers and small brokers, it's surprisingly affordable. Go to our website, vigilanttransport.com/stop-the-scam-podcast. Check out our sponsor section. Click on Freight Validate's logo, and you can see everything that Freight Validate does. Click on that logo today and subscribe, and you can get your first 10 days subscription for free. Tex, I want to give you a chance to fire any final parting shots. Anything you want to say?
Well, just I was on Reddit. I also came across that his dad was kind of in the same business. I don't know if y'all had heard that.
Yes.
I think he learned it from Papa. So
Yes, he did.
Yep. Doug has since retired and has been out. We've actually seen videos of his father being confronted by drivers at his home from a couple years ago. So he learned everything from his dad. That is for sure. We would agree with that. We would agree. Anything else you want? Are you driving for anybody right now?
Yeah, almost immediately I'd put a post up about what had happened, and I had a bunch of people reach out, and I found a carrier through a guy, and it's been going great for me. I've been doing fine, no complaints at all, and pays weekly right on time, and yeah.
Do you want to plug the carrier you're working for? Give them some good press.
Oh yeah, it's Southern Blackbird Logistics.
Southern Blackbird Logistics, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to compare that and PNP, that should give you a good idea as to what a proper running company is versus a crap company.
Good, Tommy Steins, but yeah. And I wanted to thank y'all for everything y'all do and all the help, and keep going. I love what y'all doing, and I just, Sean, keeping all the fraud, keeping track of all that, and taking people. Hopefully, we get these people taken down and get this shit cleaned up.
It's truly our pleasure. We live to help this industry. We're not here for the fame and glory. We're not here to become famous in any way, shape, or form. We're not here for money. as you can very clearly tell, Sean, by my cheap ass headset that you kept badgering me about in your video. Okay.
This shit is so
You know,
funny.
Sean, you accuse me of being fat. Yeah, I'm fat. You accuse me of being
Oh
bald.
my God.
Yeah, I'm bald. And
Me
you
and Bob-
accuse me of, well, I'm not going to go to that last one because all I can say is, oh, hell yeah. Anywho, Kate, you got anything to close with?
Oh yes. So we are not, I say this to anybody in positions of power that are able to do anything about this. We're not here to just blow hot air. The ultimate resolution for this is something regulatory that prevents these people from being able to do this. We have made the reports. We have given up paperwork. We've shown everything that we have. We've given it up. And we're not just here to talk about it. That's not what we want to do. And it seems like we do that a lot. We do that a lot. Every time it's very frustrating to hear people like Tex come to me all the time saying this. It's the same story over and over and over again. They tell me about it and I'm like, okay, yeah, and then you got to this place and then your fuel card got shut off, or you got to your Monday of the second week and you still weren't paid, and you started to ask about it and they're told you're not going to get paid until the following Friday, and then that Friday comes around and they're having accounting problems or whatever. I mean, yes, I know the story front to back. I've been told it 1,000,001 times. So the ultimate goal is for someone in some position of power to prevent this from happening. These situations are only going to continue.
Now, we are linking in our direct contacts at FMCSA to this video, so they are going to get to see this and will hopefully be able to restart any investigations they had against Sean Mabe as a result. As Kate pointed out, we do this for the good of the industry. We have no desire to commit slander or libel. Everything that we have disclosed as a result of our investigations or as the result of accusations presented by other victims. So again, good luck, Sean, if you want to try to come after us directly. But you probably ought to look at hiring yourself a defense attorney first before you try coming after us in court. Yeah, because I'm bringing an army of people with me into the courtroom to be able for you to confront. So have fun. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are here every week on Mondays at 1 p.m. Central Time. I had to find my banners there for a second there. Oh, that's the wrong banner. There we go. That's the right one. Okay, we're live every Monday, 1 p.m. Central on all the Lounge Media Group social media outlets. Please be sure to check us out. If you need to reach us, we are actually very easy to reach. Get Kate at Kate Price at stopthescampodcast.com. Myself, Jay Cantera at stopthescampodcast.com. Please make sure that you also follow the Freight Fraud Task Force. We are now operational. We are now conducting investigations into some of the larger rings operating out of Chicago, Texas, and California. Of course, we don't talk about those investigations, but we will be happy to share the results of those investigations when those results are posted. So please follow us there. You can also go to members.freightfraudtaskforce.com. Check out our website. We are taking beta registrations on our website right now, but once we hit 25, we're shutting that off till we finish testing the website, and then the website will go live. If you do want to participate and register for the website, please be aware that you will be subject to facial recognition and ID verification. We want the good guys in on this website, not the bad guys. So thank you, Freight Validate, for providing the facial recognition software to help us out with setting up the website. Folks, it's a holiday weekend, which means fraud is going to be rampant, especially with the holiday being on a Friday. We know that the scammers, including cargo theft and all, are going to be hot later this week, just like the temperature is out here in all across the eastern part of the country. Geez, that heat wave is still going on, isn't it? Of course,
Yeah.
you live in Houston, so I mean, dear
Heat
God, it's
wave
always
all
hot.
day, every day.
Pretty much. It's hot out
Shitty.
there, folks, but so is fraud. And take care of yourselves. Protect yourselves. Don't skip any steps in your vetting process. Otherwise, you risk your cargo being subject to theft or double brokerage. So whatever you do, please, dear God, whatever you do, don't let scammers take you for a ride. We'll see you next week. Thank you, folks. Have a good one.